Hi everyone, back to the More YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a match preview for Newcastle United's upcoming game this weekend. It's against Arsenal. It must be the ball. It must be the ball. Mikel Arteta's bunch of whiners have signed really well this summer, and they look very good in the Premier League. This is a huge test for Newcastle United under Eddie Howe this season with our new look Newcastle United team as well. We'll just come off the back of a good confidence boosting result in the Carabao Cup against Bradford. Can we do it against Arsenal, top Premier League opposition, second at the time of going into this particular fixture? Might be different on Sunday, mind you, but they are very, very good this season. We're going to get stuck right into this, talk about how we think the team is going to line up, talk about the key element, the key danger men for us, the danger men for them, and how we think the game is going to be as well. If that's the kind of thing you guys like, smash subscribe, help get us to the next milestone, which is 12,000. I think we're about 350 or so away from it. Smash that button, guys. Recommend us to family and friends. Help us get there. So I'm going to get stuck right into this preview because I will not be here for post-match duty. Mark will be behind the mic because I'm going to be at the game, and hopefully I will be celebrating. I might do a little aftermath on the blower on the way back to the metro or train or wherever it is I'm going to try to get back to my house from, and hopefully I will be in a good mood and we'll get stuck into it. But Arsenal are a fantastic side this season. They absolutely are. I mean, I'm just looking at the head-to-head record there. If we managed to beat these lot on Sunday, I think we would have won against them, including the Carabao Cup. I'm just looking here. In terms of this fixture, James's Park, it will be 1, 2, 3. This will be the fourth game on this spin at St James's Park that we've been able to beat Mikel Arteta. Eddie Howe seems to have his number at the moment, Mikel Arteta. He winds him up, he gets under his skin, he rattles into his players. But I must say, all of the games that we've played against Arsenal, those 3 games where we've beat them in the Carabao Cup and in the Premier League, there was a couple of different elements at play. One, we had a certain Alexander Isak who used to torture Arsenal, who's no longer at the football club. And 2, we gave up a lot of chances to Arsenal in those games, and they did not have a centre forward. Now they do have one, and he's a Swede who wears number 14, and he's called Victor Gyökeres. And for all the abuse he's had for some other fans this season so far, he's banging in the goals this season. So he's a real threat and a real danger one. But we'll get into Arsenal in a minute. This is how I think Newcastle United are going to line up. Now, I've gone for a back 3 in this particular fixture. It's worked before, Freddie, and I think it could work again. I think he'll stick to it. It seems to frustrate Arsenal regardless of the new personnel they've got, and I think he'll stick with it. So Nick Pope comes back in goal from Ramsdale playing midweek. I think that's a dead cert. Across the back 3, I'm going to go for Malik Chow, keeping his place. I don't know if Fabian Schär is going to be back or not in terms of his injury and his head injury. I think he was going to miss a couple of games. But the way that Malik Chow is playing, I'd be quite surprised, actually, if Schär walks back into the team. They've got him as doubtful for the injury news on this particular fixture, but I don't think he'll come back into the team. I don't think they'll dislodge Malik Chow, who's playing really well, showing pace, showing quality on the ball. Him and Botman linking up really well. They played well as a 2 midweek. They've played well as a 3. And I think that's what we'll stick with. Chow on the right, Sven Botman in the middle, who's a Rolls Royce of a player. Long may this run of fitness continue for Sven. And Dan Burn coming back into the team. He was given the night off on Thursday. We didn't need him. So that will be the back 3. Now, the wing backs. Me personally, I would stick with Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall, but I don't think Eddie Howe will do that. On this lineup, I think Eddie Howe will bring in Kieran Trippier on the right, and he'll bring in Tino Livramento and put him in the left-hand side. And I think that'll be the 2 wing backs there. Now, this is where it gets tricky. So I think Joe Linton has to play in this game. He's just had 2 goals midweek. We need his physicality in this game. He rattles into players. He really gets in amongst the players. And Arsenal got some strong lads in the middle of that park, like Declan Rice. Sort of Mendy looks a good player as well. Even though he's slight in stature, he's an excellent player. And I think Joe Linton's physicality will be needed in the midfield for this game. So I think Joe Linton will keep his place. So I'm going to have Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali alongside each other. So this is going to be, I'm trying to remember how I'm going to work this out here. So it's effectively a 3-5-2. But I think what they'll do, I think Jacob Murphy will be the man to miss out, as you can see from the lineup there. I think we'll go for the back 3, which is Chow, Botman, and Burn. We'll have Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali in midfield 2 in front of them. And then you'll have Joe Linton and Anthony Gordon kind of in and around big Nick Voltemada up top. And I think that's what we'll probably end up doing, I think, in terms of the team. Is that enough players? There's enough players, isn't it? Yes, it is. I think so, anyway. I think so. I think, am I missing any players? I don't know. Let me count them up. So we've got Nick Pope, Chow, Botman, Burn, Tino, Trippier, Bruno, Sandro, Joe Linton, yes, Anthony Gordon, Nick Voltemada. I'm tired, but I can still count, thank the Lord. So I think that's what we'll end up doing. I think our main plan will be to frustrate Arsenal, to contain Arsenal, to get under their skin, to make it a physical game, and then try and attack them on the break with Gordon's pace, Joe Linton's got dynamic running, Tino out wide as well. And obviously Nick Voltemade would be the fulcrum, holding it up and looking to bring others into play. Bruno Guimaraes looked quite tasty midweek. Yes, it was League One opposition, but he looked like he was in and amongst the box looking for a little bit of action up top. And I think this is the kind of play that we'll need to do. We'll have probably very little possession in this game, which we probably did in most of the games against Arsenal. But the Arsenal threat does worry me in this game from previous Arsenal teams, because I think they are really, really good, despite the injuries that they've got. They're an excellent side. We'll have a look in a second how they lined up in the last game and how we're probably going to line up in this game. But for me, our biggest strength in this one, I think, will be the back three has to be solid, has to be organised, has to be physical. We've got pace in the back there to deal with the runners Arsenal may have. It could be Martinelli that comes in, because I think Madueke is out injured, and I think, is it Saka still out injured? I think. Just trying to see the injuries going into this game. Is Saka in? Saka might be back in the team, actually. Arsenal, they're going to miss Madueke, Gabriel Jesus is out, Kai Havertz is out, Martin Odegaard's a doubt, and so is Piero Insapi. So I don't think Saka may be a doubt in this one, to be fair. So maybe Saka will play. Potentially Saka will play in this game, which will be a real danger for us going forward. Just having a look there. They have got SofaScore have got Saka in the lineup there. Dangerous looking side for Arsenal. Look at this, to be honest with you. But they have got some real threats. But I think the biggest strength that we're going to have is Tino Livermento's pace out wide. I think that's going to be an excellent asset for us. I really, really do. SofaScore have actually got Joe Linton coming out of this team, but I don't think Joe Linton will be out of this team. I think his physicality will be needed. They have got Jacob Murphy retaining his place and Gordon flanking Nick Voltemade in kind of a 3-4-3 type formation is what they've effectively got, or a 3-5-2 effectively when you look at it in that regard. But I don't think that's going to happen. I generally don't. I think Jacob Murphy might come out of the team. Although he's probably the most attacking threat that we have got, I think Joe Linton's physicality will be something that people want, Eddie Howe wants in this game. But look at the Arsenal lineup that I've got here on SofaScore, certainly. So they've got David Raya in goal. They've got Timber, Calafiore in the full-back positions, Saliba and Gabriel in the middle. I think that Saliba's going to be back in the team. They've got Mourinho, ex-Newcastle United player. Mendy, Declan Rice, great midfield that. And then the front three looks absolutely terrifying, really. They've got Saka, Eze, who's been an unbelievable signing for them. What was he, 65 million quid? What a player, man. I wish we would have been anywhere near that player if there was a chance to get him. He's quality. He's quick. He's got skill. He can create. He can score goals. This kid is an absolute superstar of a player. He really, really is. It's a massive move from, but he's took it to like a duck to water. And then you've got Victor Gyökeres in the middle, who, after the first couple of games, a lot of people were giving him stick, really, in terms of what he was bringing to the Arsenal team. People were questioning his pace and his ability and things like that. But it was absolute nonsense, to be brutally honest with you, because he has been superb so far this season. I'm just trying to have a look at his stats here in terms of being able to get his details in terms of what he's been doing. Let me just change it back to the Premier League here, and then I will tell you what he's done in terms of his season. Let's have a little look at here. Yeah, so he's got 3 goals so far this season in 5 appearances, 5 games that he's started, and he looks strong. He's got great awareness. He puts himself in good positions, good in the air. Eze creating chances from as well. This lad is everything that they were missing in terms of the centre forward when we played them in previous games. He is able to mix it up as well. I'm sure he can get right into it with the likes of Burn. Botman's got that little bit of kind of added quality to position himself really well to maybe frustrate Gyökeres, but certainly joining in that attack, there'll be no doubt that the likes of Eze, the likes of Saka, we want to cut inside as well. Get his shot off as well. Missing Martin Odegaard's a big blow for them, because he is a great player. I know he's been a little bit off form, maybe last season or two. But Zubimendi looks like a fantastic player as well, I must admit. Zubimendi's really started the season well. A guy who wasn't really known for his kind of his prowess in terms of in front of goal and stuff like that as well. He's been absolutely brilliant this season. Just looking there, he's got 2 goals. That the last game was a screaming volley as well. He's a really, really good player as well. Gets stuck in, wins the ball back, creates. So this is a really, really dangerous Arsenal side we've got coming to St James's Park this weekend. And they're second in the league for a reason. They've only lost 1 game, and their entire fixture list so far. I'm just trying to see who that was actually against, in all fairness. Let me just go back to their matches there. They drew 1 each in the last game against Manchester City. They played quite well, even though it was a little bit negative from their regard, I think, in terms of how they were playing. Yeah, they've only lost to Arsenal, which was the end of August, was that? End of August, yeah. So they've only lost to Arsenal. Liverpool, beg your pardon. We're talking about 1-0. Yeah. So other than that, they've been brilliant. They put 5 past Leeds with aplomb. They put 3 past Forest. They looked excellent in that game as well. They were 1-2-0 in the Champions League against Athletic. Ones each with a kind of resurgent Manchester City as well. There, they beat Port Vale in the cup. And they have got Olympiacos on Wednesday, and obviously we're playing Union Saint-Gilloise on Tuesday, so you can't really use that as an excuse in terms of being, distracted by the Champions League. But I think they'll put out a really strong team. I think that team is probably most likely going to be the Arsenal side, and I'm a bit worried about this fixture. It can go one or two ways, I think. It can either be a really positive, good performance from Newcastle where we can maybe nick a 1-0 win, frustrate, catch them on a little bit of a break, maybe bring Alanga's pace off the bench to do something, or Murphy's pacing behind, or Gordon's pacing behind to get a goal, maybe Nick Bartmarden, maybe gets his head on a cross from Tino or Trippier or something like that from a set piece and win 1-0. And, it's one of them frustrating Eddie Howe victories over Arteta again. And we see him crying his eyes out after the game. He is the most dislikable manager in the entire Premier League. There is no doubt about that at all. The Arsenal fans have been replaced, in my eyes, as the most annoying fan base by the Liverpool fan base. So you'll be happy to know that Arsenal fans will be watching. I no longer deem you as the most annoying fan base. This summer, Liverpool took your crown with ease, to be fair. Without breaking sweat, they took your crown as the most annoying fan base, certainly in my eyes as a Newcastle United fan. But this could go that way, or we could get battered in this game. I don't know where I'm going to sit. I really, really don't. I know I'll be sitting in the Gallagher and watching the game. I know I'll be there, but I will not be confident of this result one way or the other, really, until the game unfolds in front of my eyes. I really, really won't. I think if Arsenal turn up and play the way that they can play, like they did against Leeds, like they did against Forest, we could be in real trouble. But I think the back three gives us that solidity. One thing we have been good at this season so far is defending. It hasn't quite functioned in the attacking third. Nice to get some goals the other night against Bradford, but this is Arsenal in the Premier League. We're talking about this is levels and levels and levels above. No disrespect to Bradford, but it hasn't quite clicked for us in the Premier League. But we have defended resolutely. So I'm going to back the lads to at least get a draw in this fixture. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw and a point against Arsenal, which isn't a bad result really in my eyes. But let us know in the comments below what you think about the lineup that I've gone with. What do you think about Arsenal? Who do you think the danger man is from them? Who do you think will impose himself on the game from our point of view? Do you think it'll be Bruno Guimaraes? Do you think big Nick Voltemade, who looked really sharp when he come on, lovely little touches and movement, deft little touches here and there, very Berbatov-esque, as I've said before. I really like what I'm seeing with this lad. Do you think he'll really step up? And this is the biggest game he's had so far alongside his cameo at Barcelona. Will he stand up and will he do the business for us? Do you think we could win this game, or are you worried we're going to get tonked as well? Always like to hear from you in the comments. Let us know. Like and subscribe. Keep it evermore. Mark will be back with the live post-match analysis on Sunday afternoon, straight after the game. So make sure you join him in the chat and tell them what you think about the game as well. I will be making my way back from St James's Park, hopefully with a gigantic smile on my face, because we've just got a mint result against Arsenal, and we can really kick on and start climbing back up the Premier League, because at the minute, the attacking hasn't really been working in the Premier League, and we need it to start doing the business and scoring goals and winning games. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a belter. We'll see you later. Cheers.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.